So what, like y'all don't, it's a problem with Mack?
Yeah, it's a problem. You know what I mean? It's
I like
you know, it's a
a
thing
problem.
where
Modest is a motherfucker.
you know,
man.
it's just a violation that can't be overlooked.
Crucial 13, you all appreciate it. Shout out to you.
Get crucial.
Hungry. I need some bacon. Look at this.
Look at it. This is the city I'm in right now.
All right, what up, y'all? Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and leave a comment in the comment section. We're about to go through a couple clips of, you know, people that Ice Cube has had beef with throughout his career, artists that was signed to him that, you know, fell out with him, but then later on, you know, they patched up a lot of stuff. Because in the midst of this whole Ice Cube and Mack 10 beef, a lot of people are saying that Ice Cube got a history of this and he's a shady businessman and, you know, he's just not a good person to work with. But what we're going to show you in this video, in this compilation video, is that everybody that pretty much had issues with Ice Cube was all misunderstandings and actually got cleared up as time and maturity went on. Now, first, I want to give a brief backstory to him and Mack 10's issues, which still have yet to be resolved. I have a video actually breaking this down in depth, but here we're going to show a clip from Wack 100 talking about this.
I didn't say too much, but Ice Cube starting to say a little more and more and more.
Yeah, I've been saying he's been talking a lot lately. I wonder what he coming with. I know he got the big three, you know. That's
that Mack 10.
Mack
10. That Mack 10. You waking it
He starting
up.
to speak more and more. He finna say it in a minute.
Wait, what he been
Remember
talking
I
about?
told y'all, I said, yo, that is that Cube cannot ignore. He just can't be ignored. He can't be ignored.
He was just on Piers Morgan too, speaking.
They was over there on Cam'ron and the boy Mase.
Yeah, missing like Mack 10 did some in-house.
He did do some. Wack said the story before. Y'all don't remember. Y'all wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, he can't. Ain't no letting that go. He can't let that go.
That's a for life. You can't do that.
He can't let it go.
It be certain like that.
What's going on?
This been like this 15, 20 years. Ain't nothing new.
I said it sounded like he got something on that man. He said he violated. It ain't nothing that he could do. You know, it's nothing that come back from. So
that
would for Cube brother-in-law.
You said what?
We said Mack 10 for Ice Cube brother-in-law.
Nah, that's half the truth. That's half the truth.
Even if that's the case, though, I mean,
nah, that wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, that's just a phase, right?
You know
that's only two things you know ain't coming back from. Either you mess with a nigga, woman, or nigga this.
Mack 10 would have fought Cube's brother-in-law. That wouldn't have been a problem. That's two men.
So there is a narrative that people think that just because Mack 10 you know, they felt like Mac 10 slapped the brother or something like that, and the wife was so upset that it happened that, you know, she called off their whole relationship and told Q, you know, oh, she's the boss of the relationship and all this stuff. People are under this assumption, but right here in this video, we're gonna show you that a head-up fight ain't like, you know, strange to Ice Cube's world. He's had many of them in the industry. We're gonna show you a lot of clips of people talking about this. That ain't even an issue in Ice Cube's world. So the fact that people think that, oh, this little fade Mac 10 had with him, this called off all the stuff. No, it gets deeper than that.
Cube would have lined that up if that wanted to happen. Shit, you gonna fight the nigga, fight the nigga.
If Mac 10 would have fought Cube's brother-in-law, that wouldn't have been an issue.
Brother-in-law, this it ain't even that serious.
Slow down. That's his wife's brother.
It wouldn't have been that serious though.
That's it. But if it would have been Mac 10 fighting, right? But what if 15 of your homies max him out?
If he got packed out.
Down.
Yeah, that's different. That's the problem.
Yeah. And guess who was the real problem with? Who he can't face after a concert if he brought that together. Guess who he can't face?
Mac 10.
His wife.
His wife.
Somebody just had him jump.
Now, you know that he was in fact jumped by Mac 10's gang. Now, a lot of people say, well, the brother was running his mouth. He made diss on Mac 10. You know, he brought that upon himself. But why would this be an issue to Ice Cube and his family? Let's keep it going.
Man, it's too late. Bozos already said it. Yeah, y'all talking about a head-up fight. Yeah. So that's why he said it. Ain't nothing I can do.
He said Mac 10 had him robbed.
They had him robbed.
Nah, I mean, that's gonna happen in the pack out. 15 niggas on you, nigga. They going in your pockets, anything on your wrist and your neck.
You getting stripped. You getting stripped for sure. Why not?
You getting stripped. Like,
why not?
So, imagine your wife calling you, screaming over the phone. You come back to the suite. Your brother-in-law maxed out. Paramedics coming. Who did it? Now let's factor in other politics. He said him and Dub from the same neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
111 neighborhood Crip. Mac 10 or what?
Queen Street.
Queen Street.
Blood.
Yeah.
Who just did what to who?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be some in the streets.
Yeah.
So before this goes there, I'ma just what?
Cut all ties.
Cut everything short.
We go our way, you go yours.
And I think what pisses Cube off is when they ask Mac 10 about, he talking about, I don't know what's going on.
And we act, like that's the craziest part.
You know you wrong, bro. Don't make it like I'm the evil one. You know what you did.
Now, okay, the question arises. Let's get it out the way. Why did Mac 10 people do this? And why is Mac 10 getting the blame if his people did it? Right? What did the brother-in-law do? We got to give Mac 10
That's the $1 million question.
Okay. The brother-in-law did a diss song and was passing out the CDs in the lobby. But two things is going on. He did a diss song on Mac 10. Mac, two things going on. Either you gave him the green light or you ain't got no say-so control of your people. That situation, Mac, if he's doing that, should have been brought to who?
To Cube.
This is exactly what I said in my video where I broke this down. Is either Mac 10 don't have no control over these people, or he sent the green light for them to do it. Either way is disrespectful to Ice Cube. Why is this disrespectful to Ice Cube even though the brother brought this upon himself? Cause like Wack and them was saying earlier, Ice Cube and them ain't above a fade, a head up fight. If you got a problem with Mac 10 got a problem with you, y'all deal with that. Why is 15 to 20 guys jumping on this dude and he's, direct relative of the family of Ice Cube, who is your business partner and all this? This an in-house situation. Your peoples don't get involved in that. Look, he got a problem with Mac 10. Bam, they take care of that. You got it like to where these people feel like they're above the whole program, meaning like whatever situation Cube and his peoples got, y'all feelings is worth more than that. So y'all like, nah, fuck that. We gonna, handle this dude how we feel like handling it. And either way, they could have did that without Mac 10 call, and that shows that Mac 10 ain't got no control over them. Or Mac 10 sent the green light, which Ice Cube told him not to do and got disrespected in the end. Him being packed out by 20 people is not how you show respect to your business partner, your friend, whatever Ice Cube and Mac 10 is. And I know a lot of people gonna be like, well, he brought that on himself. Yeah, he brought that on himself, but it's him and Mac 10 problem. It ain't him and 15 other people problem. If two of my people got beef with each other and one of them end up violating each other the way that this happened like that, I'm gonna have problems with that too. Because and this go to anybody will feel like this. If you got a cousin and a brother or something that's into it, y'all gonna make sure don't nobody jump into that and they handle that shit by themselves. And don't tell me you won't do it that way.
A lack of respect is a sign of disrespect. For you to have him attacked, knowing that's my wife's brother, is saying you bigger than the program. Me too. So wife, I know you probably got some crazy requests, but we ain't gonna do that. I know it's gonna take years for you to understand what I'm gonna do is best. Ain't gonna hurt out of me. Cause you probably want an eye for an eye. But we not gonna do that because it's other we gotta continue on with. I done been here before with NWA. Now you gotta put Cube shoes on. Every time he's a part of a what? Some bullets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Dub grew up in the same neighborhood. We always been good. Dub is his own artist. He just goes out with me. Mac, my brother-in-law got stomped out, violated, and stripped. My wife, his sisters feel some kind of way. I didn't go to nothing, but I'm going to talk another way. At the time, Mac didn't see it because Mac had going on. But over the years and the years and the years and the years and the years, Cube continued to do what he continued to do. And when it came to the music side of it, Mac slowly and slowly and slowly, went the other way.
Nah, nigga want a reunion and nah.
Not now. See, every time Mac 10 does those interviews, guess who gets the satisfaction?
Cube.
The wife.
Yeah.
The wife. And Cube can say, see, baby, I'm glad you trusted me.
Had to call that dog.
You never heard about a war going on in the streets between the neighborhoods and the Inglewood homies and the Queen Streets over Ice Cube and Mac. None of that. Cube never went at Mac 10.
Mm-hmm.
Never dissed him. He just cut it off. Y'all don't remember I told y'all Cube, let's just say Cube's a family man? I was trying to say Cube's a family man. He ain't going against the family. Not gonna happen. I'll never forget one day, Cube looked out for me, let me book him direct. He did the agency. Back when we had a show called Crust Groove, we did at Universal Studios. He let me book him direct. And I was sitting on the stage and his wife walked out, right? And she walked out and she just looked at me, right? She looked at me and looked down. And I was sitting in the chair. Man, I didn't ask, her name is Kim too. What was the problem? I said, well, let me make an educated guess. I got out the seat. And she let me know. That's why I said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know you the promoter and all that, but that's why I said. That nigga Cube would have looked over there, sees the commotion, and walked right off the stage. He don't play that family, my nigga.
Now you kind of got an idea of what's going on with the whole Ice Cube and the brother thing. And somebody raised the question right here saying that how could he forgive Solo for knocking him out and taking his chain? You know, but not forgive Mac 10. And this somehow makes Ice Cube, you know, less than a man or, you know, more whatever. But to me, this actually make, you know, Ice Cube actually more solid because the issue with him and Solo was personal between them two. So as a man, it's like, okay, I got a personal issue with you. We could take care of that. But with Mac 10's situation with the brother, that got something to do with something that don't even have nothing to do with him personally, but has something to do with how his family was treated and how his word was disregarded and disrespected. So basically, he cared more about, you know, his wife's brother getting mistreated than he actually care about him getting into a little fight with some dude at the stoplight and getting knocked out or whatever. So that's kind of a selfless act right there and actually shows integrity. I'm not saying it's completely selfless because in the end it was his word that was undermined by Mac 10. So it did have something to do with him, but the issue was more family based than a personal issue of his, which if you was really like a, you know, less than a solid individual, you might be more personal about somebody knocking you out. Like dude in the comments is saying, like somebody knocked his ass out, you could already tell he gonna hold a grudge forever. Cause motherfuckers don't get into fights. They think being knocked out is the worst thing in the world because they so afraid of it happening to them that they project how bad it is onto the people that it happens to. Now salute my guy right here saying that Solo said himself that the issue between Cam and Ice Cube was a misunderstanding and all this type of stuff, and we're about to show you that right now, so salute to this comment.
Album comes out, it goes gold, but Cube didn't really put all his muscle behind it.
Right. Nah, he didn't put it.
Okay. So then, when does the relationship kind of start to go sour?
Well, it's not even about that. Like I said, it was really, I learned later on that it had more to do with personal misrepresentation from my camp and from his camp. You know, his business partner and lawyer, Pat Charbonnet, was passing the buck to him, and he was kind of passing the buck to her about why there was no push and no promotion and no, you know, muscle behind my project. But then on my end, you know, some of the brothers that I was bringing around was trying to push him or, you know, press him or, you know, influence him about they need to, you know, look out more.
And this is something that I actually said on the Ice Cube Mack 10 video that I made that actually went viral, saying that Ice Cube pretty much, you know, matured and elevated mentally to the space where he's at now, where he's, you know, exposing a lot of stuff in the industry, saying, you know, what's going on with the private prisons and the record company using them to promote negativity and low vibrational content to the kids and to, you know, teenagers, even adults, because a lot of y'all are kids. And this right here is an example of how a lot of low vibrational people that, you know, Ice Cube is maturing and detaching himself from got in the way of a lot of stuff that went on, and they are instigating, antagonizing the situation because they not in on the business. So all they know how to do is, you know, start drama or, you know, twist things.
So at what point did things start to really go bad between y'all two?
That's something we deal with every day. At least, you know, where we come from, that's, you know, it ain't really bad. That's not even really beef. That's not even really nothing. It's just, dude, I ain't feeling you, you know, and if, you know, if that's your position, okay, this is my position. It wasn't even, it's all the feelings and all that, you know, if that's your, I did catch some underground, we did some little underground diss songs or whatever, and that might have turned it up a little bit.
Well, whoop whoop.
Well, I wasn't no underground. I did that after I heard some diss, like Crazy Tune tape or something.
Okay, so I didn't know about all this. So who did the first diss record?
I don't know. I might have did the first diss record on a record I did called Pull Your Whole Card.
Because at this point, what, you had left Street Knowledge and you
yeah, because we already
yeah,
exactly because you know, so the business wasn't right based on what, you know, I felt like I was bringing to the table personally on a personal relationship level. But like I said, I can admit today, you know, a lot of it was me being manipulated by, you know, some agents or whatever, or some hypocrites or whatever within my own organization. So I told Cube that I apologized to him and all of that. So, and I'll do it again, you know.
That right there is very respectable. That's a man right there talking. Now, a lot of these people, you know, comments and fans, they misrepresent real men like that when they're, you know, they got some type of issue with Ice Cube. They're not a big fan of him or whatever, and they feel like they could pull up certain things to knock him. But you're pulling up something that a man actually came out and apologized for and admitted that he was wrong and being manipulated in the situation, and you use that situation that he was manipulated in to discredit Cube. Just so y'all know, you know, the people who's actually doing that, a dude like Solo would actually check y'all about that and say, hey bro, don't bring that bullshit up, that wasn't even about nothing. Like, real motherfuckers will deal with you for even bringing up shit like that. And a lot of people bring up the fact that he was knocked out by Cam from Cam and Solo, the group, you know, his guy, as like another way to, say Ice Cube some type of punk or something like this. But let's take a look at some clips which actually dispel these type of narratives.
What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today we're joined by Solo, aka Franklin, if you guys are into that Grand Theft Auto thing. For you getting into the game, I was first really introduced to you through the Cube and the Cam affiliations and all that. But like, how did you, you know, get to where you were making records with them and getting to know them personally first?
Well, Cam is like family. We not blood cousins, but you know how it is when you kids, man.
Right.
You grow up with somebody that's your cousin or that's your brother, so, you know, he's like family, you know what I'm saying? So we had a clique called What's Up Crew, man. It was a few of us, you know what I'm saying, and we was putting it down. We had some heavy hitters, as far as, when I say heavy hitters, as far as the pocket-wise that was behind us, you know what I'm saying? And I used to always be like, man, Cam is hard, man. He was from Compton, you know, out of Carver Park Hood, and I'm from Watts, you know. And we used to link up and hang out, and he used to be spitting, so I used to always be like, man, I gotta get this dude on. So one day, man, you know, I used to run into Ice Cube. He had a Suzuki Jeep, and I had one. He had a gray one back in the days. He had Jerry curl and everything, and I ran into him, and I was like, oh shit, that's dude from NWA. What's happening, homie? And he came off so cool that we ended up getting so cool that I was on his porch with him at his mama house over there off of, I think it was the Row or something like that, in 111 neighborhood.
Oh, Van Wyck maybe?
Nah, it wasn't. It could have been Van Wyck. Yeah, it was Van Wyck. Yeah. And you know, I knew some of the 111s. You know, JD was a real 111, man. Man, free my dude JD, man. JD was a real 111. You got Donuts, you got Ants, you got Baby Mondo KK. You know what I'm saying? You know, I knew them dudes right there. So Q wasn't active in the hood like that, but he was from over there and he knew everybody. So I used to always be telling him, man, I got this dude named Cam, man. He like my cousin, he fire, man. You gotta hear him, man. And he was like, I will, Solo, you know I will. So I kept being persistent with him, sitting on his front porch, man. I used to be having my son when he was a baby. Cube used to be playing with him. We used to just be chopping it up. He used to be spitting stuff to me. Then one day he just came and said, man, I'm finna leave NWA, start my own thing, man. I'm gonna put Cam on, man. So after that, you know, he put Cam on, he stuck to his word, he started Street Knowledge. You know, I used to go up there with him and stuff, and he used to be like, man, I got this deal through East West, I'm gonna put Cam on. So he did what he said, you know, he kept his word with me. And he put Cam on. Now, at that time, I thought he was putting us on, you know, he was finna give me a contract too. So I remember walking in there and I was like, man, where my contract at, nigga? You know, I was gang banging and in the streets real tough at that time, man. I was getting my money and I was with whatever anybody wanted to be with, man. I was a knucklehead, but he was like, Solo, it don't go like that. You know, they want to sign Cam. I was like, well, I'm going to be his DJ. I ain't know shit about DJing. But one thing I can say on that note, man, Cube had told me, man, Solo, this is what you do, bro. You going to be down with him. Don't worry about that. We going to be good, bro. You my dude. Get you a SP 1200, some turntables, and get you this They was making beats on it back then. I forgot the name of it. The Kai.
Oh yeah, the MPC.
He was saying, go get you one, bro. I'm telling you, start doing beats. This was way back then. If I would have listened to this dude, I'd probably be a battle cat or somebody by now.
Cube was pretty much giving a lot of these dudes game back in the day. And you know, a lot of people that come from the street, they think you supposed to give them everything because you got something that you supposed to just be able to, here, put me in the position you at, and life just don't work like that. And I like to bring up Master P and his artists, which a lot of his artists, you know, they want the same type of money that the big sellers on the record label is getting, and they think, oh, I'm supposed to be getting this and I'm supposed to be getting that, but they don't understand the business behind it, that you have to be drawing revenue and be bringing in revenue. But most of these artists will tell you, no, I feel like I'm worth this. But what do the papers say? What do the statistics say?
You know, so I felt like I can cling on and get something out of it. So I wasn't begging for nothing. I just wanted to, like every drug dealer or anybody in the streets doing anything, they want to take that and move into the business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sports players want to be rappers. So I was just playing my part, how it was going, you know what I mean? So he ended up sticking to his word. That's to let people know how far me and Q go back, man. You know, people took a lot of what happened with us, you know, like it was something like random, bro. But I've been knowing that guy for a long time, bro.
Well, as far as the, you know, your beef and situation with Cube, you know, now looking back on it, how do you think you learned from it? How did you repair your guys' relationship? How did you kind of like move past it?
Well, it's nothing I learned from it.
Okay.
I mean, because it's just hood shit that happened. You know, people that's not hood and not in the streets like I was at that time, bro, took it like, oh shit, you just beat the Don Mecca up. You just robbed the Don Mecca. You just did this to the Don Mecca. Because people look at Cube as, you know, he's the gangster.
Right.
Like, you better watch out. No, he better watch out. That's how it was at that time, bro. You know what I mean?
And this another narrative that a lot of people have is that if you got issues or fallouts with people, that you're somehow this negative, bad person. And you know, oh, he had an argument with this dude, he had an argument with this dude, he's a bad guy, he's a bad guy. But really, if you don't have an argument with somebody, that means y'all are lying to each other. You know, when you get to a certain age and you stand on what you believe in principles and stuff like that, you're gonna have a lot of disagreements with people. You're gonna fall out with people because you outgrowing a lot of situations. Like if you never got into it with a certain person, you're being fake to them and you're not telling them the truth. Sometimes when people have to, you know, tell the truth to each other, it causes friction. Meaning when you keep it real with somebody at the expense of their feelings or whatever, you know that it's some type of fight coming out with that. Because look, two alpha males, they can't even be around each other like that, because I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe. We ain't never gonna really, you know, to totally agree with somebody is to, you know, conform to their way of being. That's why a lot of real men keep that distant respect with each other, because you do what you do over there, I'm gonna do what I do. But at the end of the day, I respect another man that stand on what he stand on. And I ain't saying this is the case with this. That's just an example of, you know, people that's always agreeing with each other. They not keeping it real with each other like that. So anyone saying that, oh, he fell out with this dude, he fell out with that dude, that make him a bad person, you wrong about that. Most y'all saying that dumb shit, you probably afraid to get your ass whooped, so you agree with everything a motherfucker say. I don't know.
And when that happened, when that incident happened with me and Cube, it was nothing to me. That's just, it fell into what you do as being in the streets at that time. That's just me. If me and you get into a fucking fight and we scrapping, bro, and something on you I need, that's just how it was going, bro.
Right.
You know, that's what happens. You know, you still see that to this day. Fight, jump off, dude get off the bottom of the pile. Where my watch at? Where my necklace at? That's just how stuff was, bro. Right. So, you know, people took it crazy and stuff, but me and Cube, we kind of hammered that down. You know, Mac 10 intervened in the middle of it. Then me and Cube ended up sitting down, man. Man to man. So he was inviting me to Laker game. He just wanted to make it a bond even tighter. But my loyalty to Cam was worth more than signing and make more money. Now, should I have thought about, you know, things back then? Because Cube was laying it. When I tell you he was laying it out for me, bro, he was laying it out. Calling me to come to studios, Larrabee Studios. Man, Solo, I'm gonna make you this, I'm gonna make you in charge of that. And I was like, nah, take care of Cam, man. But I didn't know all the while I was saying take care of Cam because certain things that Cam was doing financially wise, I didn't understand. You know, they was beefing over taxes.
Cam did say in this interview that when Cube met up with him, you know, he got the black eyes, he's nervous, damn near shaking the table. And this is his account of the situation. And you know, you gotta give Cube props for actually going through that with this dude who's got size and strength over him. And you know, pulling up face to face, talking with him and everything. Cause if you know the story, you know that when they met at that stoplight, Ice Cube actually turned it up and started the fight with him.
Meeting Solo at a Los Angeles traffic light, Ice Cube started a fight.
And Cam said that he told everybody that know all them that if Ice Cube want this chain back, he gonna have to come back and fight me for it. And Ice Cube dubbed it. I mean, the dude got the size and the strength advantage on him. Must have did him bad enough to where he like, all right, you know what? That ain't smart. And I know a lot of people who won't even do head up fades with certain people of, you know, that's got the size and the strength advantage over them and the weight and all that type of stuff, because some people get dead bad enough to where they don't come back from it if you really see that shit in the streets. But I do give him credit for even trying it the first time. And I know a lot of internet dudes might make a comment saying, oh, you got to catch a fade with anybody. I don't care if he's 8 feet tall, 290 pounds, and you only $110. You got to fight him head up. You ain't seen enough shit if you saying some shit like that, bro. It's self-preservation. I mean, and salute to Ice Cube. He even showed you how to do it sometimes in the movie Friday when he smacked Debo in the head with that brick.
Right.
Taxes getting paid. I didn't have no knowledge of that. I just thought the man owed the man some bread.
Mm-hmm.
So this my dude, bro. Give him his money.
Right.
Or we gonna keep this process going. We gonna keep getting pressed.
Mm.
So we end up squashing it though, man. And I ran into him, man, and at Crazy Tune, rest in peace, man, his funeral.
Right.
And me and Cube hugged, we talked, man, and he was like, you know, you can feel the sincereness. Man, you know what, I apologize, bro. I was wrong.
You and Ice Cube had a little feud back in the day, right?
Yeah, it wasn't no feud. It was a misunderstanding, bro. You know, I don't like to talk about it because it's so old. I don't get it. I don't like to get into it because that's my brother, man. That's my family member, man. We let me tell you like this. It was a misunderstanding on my behalf. And now that it's over with and long over with, I understand that I did it the wrong way, you know. And me and him talk, and like you gotta remember, man, that's my boy. I'm talking about NWA days. That's my guy sitting on the front porch. He playing with my son. You know, that's my friend. So it was just two dudes that knew each other, and my misunderstanding came in between it because, you know, we were a certain rap group and they were West Side Connection, and it turned into some other shit.
This is the reason why I chose to leave certain clips and certain sound bites from the last interview I just showed of Cam talking about, you know, Q being nervous at the thing and him, Mac 10 getting the chain back, but then him wanting Mac 10 to pay him because I don't know, there was some stuff going on with that where he was threatening to Mac 10 to give the chain back to him because he was supposed to get paid for Mac 10 even getting it from him, the Ice Cube chain. And you know, a lot of that stuff he was saying when he was still, you know, under that young mindset. So as time goes by, you become a man and you realize how immature and undeveloped you are when you are saying some of this type of stuff. So with respect to his current mind state under situations, I chose to leave out some of that more toxic stuff because all that does is create more issues when issues have already been settled.
And I lost my identity as far as knowing that this man is my friend. I let that music shit come in between and hearsay, and it made me go a different direction with it. But we had our little head bump and we moved on. It was the people that made the shit worse than what it is. Like, if me and him would have got into it and the situation would have happened last week, oh my God, shit would be the biggest shit in the world because of social media. Wasn't no social media around back then. It was just Channel 11 News, and it was the Straight from the Streets on there. So they was only talking about it in magazines, you know, The Source and shit like that. But nah, that's my brother, man. I love him. He know how I feel about him. I know how he feel about me. It's genuine love. It was just two dudes that bumped heads, man. It wasn't like, you know, people make it like I did something bad to him. No, it was a fight. my nigga, he stood 10 toes with me, man. You know, as he should.
Yeah.
As he should.
Yeah.
So
Win, lose, or draw. You know, a lot of people these days don't have the nuts to even get in on a one-on-one.
Yeah, and this man is a multi-millionaire. So that's what I try to tell people, that he wouldn't even entertain another motherfucker, so that you know that we knew each other to even get to where we can physically touch each other. So yeah, man, he stood 10 toes down with me, man. I salute him for it. You know, that you can't do nothing but respect a person for that. But I got like I said in the book, I got, you know, it's a good book, man. They just got to get the book and they can see more about it, man.
So, you know, you got to respect that. And I know a lot of people hear me say that, oh, I respect him for even turning it up with dude at the light, even though after, you know, he was like, oh no, he got to come and fight me again if he wants his chain back. And Cube like, nah, we good on that. You know, people going to say like, oh, he's scary, he's all this, but this man turned it up on this man at the light like that, you know, and some people won't even do that. Some people will be like, hell no, dude, your big ass, I gotta hit you with a brick. So a lot of people, you know, fans that don't like Cube, or, you know, people in comment sections saying that, you know, him getting knocked out is this sign of weakness, like, oh, he's that's why he, you know what I mean? You see the dude that knocked him out saying he gotta respect him for standing toe to toe with him. And all this talks of Cube is such a bad guy and, oh, he falls out with everybody. He just told you that mostly they camps was hyping the shit up. It was a misunderstanding. Completely. Sorry about, like, I mix up the names Cam and Solo all the time. Solo is the one who got into it with Cube over Cam, you know, his situation. Now, another group that gets brung up in this, oh, Ice Cube always falls out with people or something like that, is surprisingly above the law, when everybody knows they had a problem with them because they were still with Ruthless when Cube went at them. But this is another example of when Ice Cube got a problem with somebody, he usually turn it up on them and they end up getting into it, you know what I mean? And goes against the narrative that, oh, Ice Cube is, oh, just because he's not from a hood or he not from the gang or whatever, that he's some type of hoe or something. That's not the case.
Okay, so in the NWA movie, there was a scene where Ice Cube gets into it with guys from Ruthless.
Right.
And I guess it was at a music seminar. And so I believe that was, you were involved
That's
in all
above the
that?
law. That's above the law. It's
Were both you guys there?
No, I was at the pad working on my stuff.
Yeah, he was working on his record. This is when Living Like Hustlers first dropped. You know, me and Cube had some issues. He disrespect Pomona. Me and him got into a head-up scrap. Spilled over to the new music seminar.
So you guys got in a fight first?
Yeah, we had a fight first. Head up.
At the Celebrity.
At the Celebrity Theater. Me and him had a fight because we had an interview with LA Times. LA Times asked us, what's the sound, what signatures y'all music and everything. I want to say Mack said, oh yeah, you know, we talk about, because we wrote Living Like Hustlers in the Dope House. So like we talk about like, you know, what we really was involved with, or our colleagues that was hustling with us is a reflection of their life or whatever. We not like Ice Cube that went away to college and come back and act like this big time gangster in NWA, which at the time that's what he was. You know, he was a dude that was really sharp with the pen, was kind of a schoolboy, you know, never hustled the street, never banged in the streets, but he could depict what the gang culture was like in records. That's what we told LA Times. LA Times wanted to reply to that. On the interview, he said New Jack niggas from Pomona should only talk about the freeway because that's the only thing that's going through that motherfucker. I said, okay. Easy E called me. He said, hey man, did you get the LA Times? I said, no, man, you gotta see it. He laughing on the phone. He's a big joke, so he laughing, So I get it, I read the statement. I call E back and said, I'm gonna fuck your boy up. You know, as soon as I see, oh, cuz, don't be tripping. I said, man, fuck that. So he's, you know, him and Dub grew up together, but Dub's godbrother, Dub and Tunes, rest in peace, their godbrother is a good friend of mine. So I already had knew them. So I go up and say, hey man, I got a problem with your boy. You know, you want to talk that shit? Is he coming? He's like, yeah, he probably gonna come through. I said, okay, I need to holler at him. So he come, made a meet up in the hallway. Said, what's up with that bitch ass shit you said in the newspaper? You trying to play me like a buster or something, homie? Like, oh, you a bitch ass nigga too. Like I said, what's happening? You want to get down? Oh yeah, what's up? What's up? So he acting tough.
So you see, even the people that got the issue with him ain't even like fabricating it. They like, yeah, he turned it up. And you know, dude right here, Code 187 which produced a lot of dope records from Eazy-E, and I think he produced something on Bone Thugs, Creeping on the Come Up. But you know, he got some type of angst or whatever like that, so he's saying it in a way like, oh, he acting tough and stuff like that. But from multiple stories from different people is all saying like, damn, Cube started a fight with me. And in a lot of circumstances, you know, might not have came out on top of the situations or whatever, but that never mattered to nobody except for people that don't fight and comment on the internet. And, you know, they so afraid of getting beat up that when somebody gets beat up, they look at it like it's the worst thing in the world. And I'm not saying if he got beat up or not, but this is the narrative that, you know, Cube did this, he did that or whatever. And it's just, you know, people are so embarrassed and look at it as the worst thing in the world and embarrassment to get their ass whooped, that when it happens to somebody else, they feel that person should be embarrassed and should be looked at as the worst thing in the world happened to them. When in fact, real motherfuckers look at it like it's just a fight, win, lose, or draw. As long as you get down is where you get your respect at. See, a lot of people think you lose respect from losing the fight. That's how you know they don't get down.
So my security, ruthless security, rushed me and say, go in the room, Hutch, you acting crazy. We don't want no problems here. They take him to Dub room. So mind you, as I told you earlier, Cube was our partner. It's like, how dare you say some bullshit like that when you know how we cut? You know what I mean? So he come back into my dressing room and say, what's up? As soon as he say, what's up? I give him to him a 2-piece hot one. Boom, he fall through the door. Chaos grab him and throw him, sling him, and then all the security rush. So by the time speeding you up to New York, the rumor gets back, Brother Law jumped Cube. It really was me and him fighting.
Now correct me if I'm wrong, but that don't sound like no fair fight. If me and you into it, and you take off on me and, you know, you knock me off my balance, I fall into the door. Before I could even respond to getting punched like that, your people grabbing me and slamming me, and that's a fair fight to you? And for all you know, you could probably whoop him, but that don't take away from the fact that your people grabbed him while he, you know, damn near trying to get his wits about him or trying to get his balance back, you know, before he could even do anything about it, and slamming him. And then they getting rushed by all types of other people.
Wasn't nobody jump. Nope, didn't nobody jump nobody, right?
So Cube didn't back down either.
No, he didn't.
He didn't back
down. He got socked out, but he didn't back down. And when we get to New York, so all the stuff going around the seminars like, oh yeah, the Lynch Mob here, and they got issues, whatever, right? So we get to New York, we're like, okay, whatever. So we see each other going to a panel, right? And we face off right in the middle of the seminar, and we get down, and all hell broke loose. After the fact, we all became cool. Me, JD, Shorty, welcome home, JD. Yeah, you know, sure. Rest in peace, Shorty. We all became cool because we was all tripping off something that was a head-up fight. You know what I mean? Like, if they'd have just hollered at us like, man, what went down? We heard y'all jumped him, whatever. Like, nah, it was a head-up fight, and if you want to get a head-up again, we can get that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we was. They thought he got jumped, so they was like, you know, we here to defend the homie honor like that. You know, y'all want to jump him, we can go head up. All of us can just brawl it out right here. That's what they thought. We never was able to explain to them till Greg Mack got us all on the phone like a panel and was like, you know, y'all need to be cool. Y'all didn't have nothing to do with collectively all y'all beefing at each other about something that was an difference between Hutch and Ice Cube.
Right.
And they already squashed it. So that's how that ended up getting squashed, you know, and everything. And that's what that was. That's what that scene was about. The reason why it's so profound and straight out of Compton, because in all of the tabloids back then, they said we were NWA's henchmen. And it was some personal stuff between me and Cube, basically.
So even Kokane right there, you know, he been on a lot of songs with Snoop Dogg and all them. He even saying, yeah, Cube didn't back down. Like they all seem to have this respect that he don't back down, even though he might not be a gang member and he might not have been some drug dealer on the streets or, you know, the most, you know, chaotic, toxic person from the hood or something like that. He still had his man principles about himself. And now real quick, we're about to talk about DJ Pooh for a second. You know, they end up having a falling out over some BS. Pretty much the same type of issues that Cam and Solo had with Cube. Because, you know, they end up doing a diss record together on them. But they ended up rekindling their friendship. And this is how Ice Cube speaks on DJ Pooh to this day.
I mean, DJ Pooh, he's like one of those undercover geniuses that he been involved in a lot of hip hop. I mean, he helped LL do Going Back to Cali. You know what I mean? Like, he been around forever. And we're all fans of Pooh. You know what I'm saying? And Pooh is funny. He technical. He's the one who got Rockstar to do the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That whole, you know, like take it from Miami and put it in LA. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Take it from the Miami dope culture to the LA gang culture. So he's the one who's behind the scenes with stuff like that.
So there goes another person that everybody's saying, oh, this is another guy Cube fell out. Don't trust him. You know, reconciling after all these years over misunderstandings. Now, real quick, we're about to show you when Ice Cube fell out with Ruthless Records, and he fell out with NWA because they was getting screwed out their contracts, and he was the only smart one that was like, no, I'm worth more than this. And, you know, people bring up NWA as, oh, that was the first one he got, you know, fell out with. Watch out, he's a bad person. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that don't like him so much that they think he's the one in the wrong for falling out with NWA and Jerry Heller. This is what they say in these comments and some of these fans that don't like him. And now to go back to the same type of people that say, oh, he's not from this hood, he's scary, he's this, he's that. Here goes another example of Ice Cube in an altercation with some high profile people and actually standing 10 toes.
Did you really see Suge and Ice Cube fight?
I saw Ice Cube coming out when it was a Gangstar show backstage. It was with WC in the Mad Circle. Cube had just left NWA. We knew there was tension, but we didn't know what degree because it was our first time going to Cali, and Suge was down with Eazy-E at the time as far as however they were rolling. So Eazy-E was not there. I met Ren. I was excited just to see all the NWA members, and we're about to go on stage, and we had an intro. All of a sudden I see a ruckus, and I just see, you know, Cube's throwing his fist. He wasn't punking out at all. Shout to Ice Cube, shout to the whole crew. And all you just saw was just the whole bing, 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 bing back and forth. No one got knocked out, no one got beat up. But there was from what I can remember, I saw Suge somewhere in that vicinity, you know what I'm saying? But no one came out unconscious.
Wow, hearing all this, all I could think is, man, Ice Cube sure is afraid of conflict. And now I got a couple more people we're going to look at. Right now, we're going to, you know, this is the more popular beef. You know, we're not going to get into the common stuff and, you know, because that had nothing to do with, he never was really affiliated with him. So we're keeping it based on the people that he had some type of connections with. And even though Cypress Hill isn't like signed to him or nothing, they still had a connection. So we're going to look at how Be Real talks about this.
Well, you mentioned Cube, I know, and the tour was announced, overseas tour, a couple days ago, actually. So I went on the rabbit hole and went all the way back down to the history, you guys. But I was watching the TV interview you guys did where you were talking about wanting to kind of make peace in the city a little bit more and have an example.
We done had our share of problems, you know, but, you know, we working together to work that out, you know. And you know, maybe if the public see us work out our problems, they'll work out their problems, you know?
What were the conversations like that led up to that moment where publicly you guys were like, all right, let's squash this?
Oh, you know, to go all the way back, we started as really good friends. I mean, he came to our How I Could Just Kill a Man video in New York. He was out there for promo for something he was doing, found out we were there, and he came down there and then embraced us from there. Started wearing our stuff, called mugs to produce beats. We did a show tour with him in Australia and a few other things in the stateside. We were friends, you know, like really good friends, and you know, with the over some music it flipped. You know, we start beefing, and so all up to that, from that point on, we were like going at each other's shows, and you know, just talking shit wherever we could about each other. And it came to a head, I think, in '96, and some things and conversations happened between people in the middle of us that sparked a conversation between me and Mac 10 first. And you know, Mac 10 called me, and you know, we decided, hey, listen, this before anybody gets really hurt, because we got the type of people that this will happen. We decided, hey, let's squash it. You know, let's just be cool. And
this is a big theme amongst a lot of the haters of Ice Cube and stuff, is that, you know, oh, Mac 10 helped him do this, he helped him squash this. Why can't he get over the fact that whatever happened between him and his brother, you know, so they could get back to business, do this West Side Connection album? They think like, oh, if you fall out with a friend, that mean that y'all was never friends before or something. Like, yeah, of course Mac 10, you know, was riding with Ice Cube and doing all this other type of stuff. But that don't mean that later on in life you could violate the man and do something that's really kind of not unforgivable, but just a situation to where, you know, you want to cut ties and just move on with your life as grown men. And maybe Mac 10 felt like, hey, I be, you know, getting in the middle of these beefs, trying to, you know, help things out. Maybe I don't need to consult with you if I got a problem with your wife's brother. Maybe I can just put a green light on his head to get him jumped and robbed by 15 of my gang members. And that should be cool. You should deal with that because I helped you in the Cypress Hill beef and the beef with Cam and Solo, get your chain back or whatever. Now, to me, if you want to help me because you doing it out of the kindness of your heart. Don't help me and expect to be able to just call shots on me or make sure that, you know, you could do stuff undermining my word and stuff like that, like you own me or something like that, because that's just not how this works. See, a lot of people is doing keyboard warrior typing, you know, talking from the perspective of an internet dude, and ain't talking from the perspective of a real man and actually trying to see what's going on with these situations.
Listen, you know, I understand that you were backing him up, and you know, my reaction to you was for what you said. I got nothing against you, so let's, you know, stop it right here. We'll never say a negative thing about each other again, and you know, we'll perhaps work together, because you know, I'm a fan of you and it's mutual and things like this, right? This is the type of conversation him and I have. And then, you know, he says to me, what about with Q? Would you talk to him? I said, yeah, he's just got to call me like you called me, and you know, we'll strike all this shit down. Because realistically, I had a lot of respect for Q. You know, I looked up to him, to be honest with you. So it was kind of tough beefing with them, but we're like not the guys who will be, you know, pushed around or pushed aside or stepped on or any of it, you know what I mean? So we had to stand our ground for what we felt the whole starting of it was. But like in the end, when Mac 10 called me, I was like, yeah, let's just tell him to call me and we'll have a conversation. Him and I had an honest conversation, and we put our, you know, all our grievances to rest right there, and said, hey man, you know, we need to be cool with each other as opposed to this. Our people might get hurt behind it, because you know how it is, you know, me and you may never see each other, but some of our people might, and in our names they might get into some shit and it turn into something different. So, you know, we decided right then and there that we would not say another negative word about each other, would squash it right then and there and make it known. And there was a show he had at it's called One Oak now, but it was all maybe Billboard Live or the Key Club then. He told me to come down to that show. And I showed up. I didn't come with anybody. I didn't have any security. I didn't even take any of the homies. I'd like totally walked in the building myself, and everybody that didn't know the beef was over.
Were you nervous a little?
No, hell. Nah. Born and raised in LA, man, just as much as any, you know. So like I felt safe. And so I went into the building and everybody was like, whoa, you're here. What? Oh man. You know, so they think something's about to go down, right? And they don't know Q called me, you know. So when I show up on stage, the whole crowd gets lit up and boom, everybody, at least at this show, knows beef's over, we're cool, done deal. And then we eventually do a song with Shaq.
So the last beef we're gonna take a look at, and there is more and stuff like that, but we'll do a follow-up if needed. And the last beef we're gonna look at right here is between Lynch Mob and Ice Cube, specifically JD. Now this is another beef where people use to, you know, diminish Ice Cube's credibility as a decent human being. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people in these comments, these fans that don't like him, like really paint this dude out to be some horrible human being. And it's funny because it comes at a time where he's actually putting people on to a lot of wickedness in the industry. Like, this man really came out and started saying that, hey, these same people that used him, he even admitted, yeah, I've been used for the same agenda. The same people who push out that type of agenda to demoralize people and to push negative messages out are actually doing that for a purpose, because they're the same type of people that's in bed with the people that's owning the prisons. So in turn, you end up committing all these crimes and stuff because the music, you know, influenced you to do so and kept pushing that narrative in society to where now you're throwing yourself in jail. And for some reason, when a lot of these people from the entertainment world come out and start, you know, exposing a lot of this, putting people onto this type of stuff, there's always this group of people that's like, but remember when he was a bad person? As if somebody can't change their life. And then some people might say, well, I wasn't bad. Well, you a liar, because everybody on this planet has done something wrong, has came from a negative way of being, and ended up maturing and growing up. So if you can't allow somebody to change their ways and start coming out against their old self, or, you know, coming to the light, so to say, then you got this complex that you're so high and mighty that you haven't done nothing wrong in life. And, you know, even if you did do something wrong in life, you're not allowed to come out and, you know, teach people the right way from the wrong way. You know what I mean? Which is actually what life is about. You teach your kids not to be like you when you are a bad person or doing wrong. You know what I mean? You're supposed to teach the new generation not to walk down that bad path that you walk. That's how life is. And even when, you know, people was living a certain way, old school people, if say if your little brother caught you smoking weed, you damn near had to kick his ass and threaten him and be like, bro, if I ever catch you doing this, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? That's when the morals was still instilled to a point, when this first started happening, when this demoralization first started happening. But let's see what Lynch Mob member JD has to say about Ice Cube, because a whole bunch of people just say this is another guy that, oh, you guys better watch out, Ice Cube is the devil. Look at what he did with JD and all them. Let's take a look.
This was possibly one of the best photos from last year, man, was when you and Ice Cube embraced after that animosity, man. Like, how did that transpire, and what's the feeling like now?
Man, I'm going to say this, and this is why I wanted to do the interview with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that song just say in JD's Revenge. It say, fuck what you heard, bitch. I'm my own boss. Me and Ice Cube, cool as Gatorade Frost. Spent a little time talking shit to the boss, and his final words was, JD, fuck what it costs. Resume normal program. Now it's yard recall. Lock it up. Get ready for count and watch me ball. We talk about movies, marijuana, and music. I know my next tattoo now. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? That's me and Ice Cube. That's me and Cube. So the grown man in me and the conversation from that grown man and me apologizing to him and vice versa, bro, it just showed me that the nigga fresh out of prison after 28 years can give an apology, and the nigga that's worth damn near $1 billion can also extend one as well. That spoke volumes. We both fathers, we both husbands, we both grandfathers. So that immature, whatever that ever happened 25 fucking years ago, and the poison of everybody wanting to add to that, and I heard JD said this, and Cube said he'd never fuck with you again, and then JD said this from prison, and then the snowball, long story short, all that shit was bullshit. Mm-hmm. And so when we got a chance to talk about, why didn't you come for me, bro? And all the fucking truth came out, only thing I could do is be like, ain't this a bitch? We cheated ourselves out the opportunity, bro, listening to other motherfuckers. And then when the opportunity came for two grown men to talk, that nigga Ice Cube carved out a path so beautiful, bro. It ain't happened yet. But he carved out a path so beautiful, bro. All I got to do is just kick back and get the fuck off parole.
And salute to Off the Cuff Radio. They actually allowed me to use one of their clips from my last channel about Soulja Slim, Sister, and Master P, and Crazy from the 504 Boys. So I definitely want to thank y'all for allowing me to use that. But now right here, you see a reoccurring theme in all these issues Ice Cube got with these people is that somebody else is gassing up all these situations. Everything is coming from he say, she say, coming from other people, you know, putting BS into the mix. And I could fault all of them for not, you know, checking in a lot of that type of stuff, because as a man, you're not supposed to go off he say, she say for nothing. So that right there, I could say all parties involved with all of these situations is wrong for that. But that comes with maturity. Now you see, as they got older and they start checking in shit, they like, man, that's some bullshit. Because when you young and impressionable and you got trust and love for your people around you, you don't expect people to just tell you bullshit all the time. So you might go off something they say. You trust this motherfucker. You done been here and there with this person. You like, shit, all right, it's that, whatever. But when you get older and more mature, I'm like this now. People that I trust fully, I can't just go off their word no more. If somebody tell me anything, I gotta check it in. I gotta look into it. Because at the age I'm at now, I have people tell me stuff that ended up false in the end. So I'm like, you know, see, now that's why I gotta really do my due diligence on things.
And we're gonna resume normal program. I'm gonna stay with Q real quick before Lancey answers. Go ahead, please. I say Ice Cube real quick because that nigga had the best people around him his entire career. One. Mm-hmm. Two, kept his name virtually out of every headline for scandal and bullshit. Three, his wife Kimberly, she been a motherfucking rock since I knew who she was since 89, 90 when we first flew to go do the album with fucking Hank Shockley and Keith Shockley and Eric Sadler, the Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
You know? So she's been his constant, bro, since fucking 89, 90. Now, the caliber of people that he had around him, the right financial advisors, motherfucker making the right investments, the people, and then him being a family man.
So now he's saying you got this dude Ice Cube, who is a family man, whose wife is like his best friend, his literal soulmate. Stayed with solid people throughout his whole career. Anytime he dealt with shady people, he ended up detaching from that situation, like the NWA Ruthless Records thing. And we know Ruthless Records was in a whole bunch of witch type of shit, and we're gonna do a nice documentary on that. And how his name basically never came up in any type of weird scandals or anything like that, but a lot of people whose name has come up in them type of scandals, you know, really did not invite him to the table with them. Like, you know how Oprah basically didn't even invite him to his own movie cast when they had the cast of The Barbershop on her show. Didn't even invite him to it. And, you know, she's got scandals on her left and right, from kids at her schools in Africa having things happen to, you know, just a whole bunch of crazy stuff, you know, and everybody in the industry has some type of weird scandal on them. But for some reason with Ice Cube, you just don't get this. Now, a lot of the haters and the fans of the people that don't like Ice Cube or whatever, they only can bring up like these situations where, oh, he's doing bad business with everybody. But as I've been showing you in this documentary here, all that type of stuff was misunderstanding and all got nipped in the bud later on. You got a dude that's really keeping his path clean and separating from a lot of the toxic stuff, who's dealing with people who got toxic baggage, you know, people who got homeboys or people who got people around them that's gassing up situation. That's toxic baggage right there. So end up having to separate himself from them type of situations, and then he gets this reputation along the way, but then later on it ends up getting squashed and reconciled, and he actually has a pretty decent career while navigating these swampy waters of Hollywood, the entertainment industry, and all of that. A lot of people wonder why he even survived like that. Well, because he hasn't really said too much. He hasn't really spoke on a lot of the crazy things he's ever seen. Now, he has here and there, but he knows how to put this stuff in a certain way to where when he's explaining it, even like a casual listener who doesn't really get into the conspiracies or anything like that, they can understand what he's saying. So it's not really outing people on this, you know, conspiratorial level. Example, when he's talking about, you know, the private prison owners and the record labels, you know, being in cahoots to funnel, you know, criminals into the jail system, he's telling it in a way where it's digestible to even the average sheep. Now, if he starts going in deeper, he might get written off as some nutcase conspiracy theorist, but he never goes to that extent. He keeps it all surface level. And I think for that reason, he was able to navigate these waters. He never really came out against anything. Now he's actually coming out saying a lot of this type of stuff, and only time will tell what happens with his career, because we know he turned down money to do a movie a couple years ago because they wanted him to, you know, get a shot or whatever. So now recently, where political ideologies is taking the center stage in a lot of the entertainment world, you could see him separating more and more and having more issues with this, because before 2020, you know, the late 2010s or whatever, it wasn't really driven by political ideology. They still had this illusion that, you know, people are free to do what they want to do, you know, Hollywood and all this other type of stuff. And everybody was still running around. But now it's like everyone was like, you know, you got to pick a side in this. You're either with this woke narrative agenda or you're not. And Ice Cube always been the one to call out the system, you know, but now he's more like getting to the point where he's still calling out the system, you know, with talking about the record labels and the private prison owners, obviously calling out the system, right? But he's not so left-wing with it. And for people that don't understand the political ideologies, you know, the left-wing side of the game is where, you know, you blame conservatives and Republicans for systemic racism and oppression. Now he's more coming at it from a more conservative-based standpoint, basically pointing out, you know, a lot of the woke democratic policies and agendas that in turn imprison people. And, you know, because it's a lot of the liberals sided with the Democratic Party, and, you know, Hollywood is 89, 90% liberal. So if Hollywood, the entertainment business, all liberal mostly, and they're the ones producing most of this content that in turn creates negative behavior, which in turn funnels people into the prison system. So he's starting to really flip the script on them right there, and that's just for people that don't understand the ideological game. And it's funny because some people would say he's sold out, but people that really understand what they're talking about and what they're looking at, he didn't sell out. He's actually, going deeper than what he's ever been going when he's just talking about, oh, everybody's racist and all this type of shit. Now he's really pointing out the game behind it all, the actual systemic part of the scheme that's going on right now, because that's the ultimate scheme right there, right? Here, let's create this degenerative music so we can in turn create degenerates that fill up our prison system. Okay, makes sense.
And growing into that family man position. That motherfucker, man, I don't give a fuck if he was worth $55. The nigga business model and his acumen alone speaks volume of the motherfucking people he kept around him. Look at JD. Look at the people he kept around him. I had to make the sacrifice of the streets. Snitch and not be a snitch. But the people I had around me was like, bro, we wasn't raised like that, my nigga. And I'm like, I know, my nigga, I ain't never gonna tell. And I go through 28 years while this man virtually lived a dream. That is impressive, bro. I tip my hat to niggas like that.
Now, we're about to check out this clip from Cam, who he had the issues with. And to further my point on how correct Ice Cube is, how he, separated from that kind of Marxist ideology, from bucking the system and, defending criminality and stuff like that, and to actually where he's calling out the stuff, a more of a conservative based mind state. Here goes Cam, the dude that he had issues with, this guy that a lot of people bring up to say, ooh, Ice Cube's a sellout and he's a bad person. Look what he did to Cam. Now you using this dude Cam to diminish Ice Cube's character and integrity, and you paint him to be this sellout, bad person and all this type of stuff. But here goes Cam, basically at the point he's at now, thinks the exact same way. Check it out.
Peace, what up? Real quick question. If black on black crime, gangbangers, black males killing black males, like if black males is killing each other, all across the United States for the last 20, 30 years, whatever, gangbanging, like unjustified, black on black homicide, do you think black people is then justified to protest when white police or white people in general kill us? Should we scream bloody murder? Like it's wrong for them to kill us, but we can kill us? What you think about that? And on that same token, with the use of the word nigga, the N word, if we using nigga and bitch, the B word, like on our own people, and mostly everybody that the black on black crime and against males, black males against male murders and fights, and the black females against black female murders and fights involve the word nigga or bitch, or is that our word? Like, you know what I'm saying? And should we protest or get in an uproar when a white person call us a nigga or a bitch? You know what I'm saying? Instead of a black person, like, it's black murder and black insults and disrespect better than whites, when they do it to us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And am I a hater? let me let y'all know something, man. I am a hater. Like, I'm, they claim that the NOI, the Nation of Islam, is haters. I'm definitely a hater. I'm a hater of stupidity. I'm a hater of ignorance. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hater of lack of knowledge. Like, you know what I'm saying? I hate like a mug. You know what I'm saying?
So, you know, and I know hate is probably the wrong word to use, but you get what he's saying. You know, as a man, you don't love immorality, degeneracy, you know, anything toxic, anything negative or whatever, just to you, for lack of better words, you know. But for the people that don't understand the whole political, ideological thing, again, what he just said right there on the political spectrum is considered right-winger, quote-unquote racist people talk. When you actually start questioning black on black crime, or, you know, whatever race you are, race on race crime, you're considered like this racist, bigoted type of person, because on the political spectrum, you know, the right wingers say that, but the left wingers are more concerned with white people that kill black people. They don't care about the black on black crime or nothing like that. They just care about, you know, other races, and not even other races. They specifically care about white people killing another type of race, and that's the worst thing in the world to them. It's worse than anything else to them. And it's because that left side, you know, have adopted this Marxism thing, that, you know, you come, what the Marxists and the communists do when they come into the country is they create a boogeyman for everybody else to hate. So they push this indoctrination of, okay, white supremacy. Let's make the white people the bad people so we can create a division between the races. And they do this with every country they take over. And for people that follow my channel, you know, white and black don't even have nothing to do with skin color. It actually has something to do with your status in a country, which white means free, black means the opposite of free. It has nothing to do with color. Now, in this country, because of what the communists did and all that, they have staged it to where so-called, you know, light-skinned people or European descent people have adopted the white free status of the country. Not all of them. We're just talking about the mainstream kind, what they did in the mainstream, because not everybody like that is the only ones claiming the white status. We're going to talk about the Moors. Y'all check out my last documentary on the Moors, who are so-called dark-skinned, black, melanated people that claim to be white in the country because they're free. But what the communists and Marxists did was, mainstream-wise, put it to where, okay, the dark-skinned people is going to take on the black unfree status. So you create a divide right there between races. Instead of making it a class thing, now you put two, you know, nationalities of people against each other instead of just free versus unfree. And it's always been about class. It's always about whether you're free or whether you're a worker, or you're a slave, or, you know, whatever like that. But this is how slick the communists is. They made it to where, like I just said, the free people are the so-called Caucasians or whatever like that, and the unfree people, the slaves, they put dark-skinned people into that, and they just narrowed it down to color, the caste system. But that's too much game right now. We ain't even about to get into all that. But Cam, salute to him for not really upholding this doctrine, which was put onto people by the Marxists and the leftists. And people like him and Ice Cube is starting to see through this, like, hold up, why are we mad when it happens, you know, when a white person do it? There's like, what, only a few deaths a year that's caused by white police happening to a black person. But I'm talking about over a weekend in Chicago, you can count hundreds of people getting killed, and not just Chicago, all over the country. Now, the reason why they want you to focus on the white people is to keep the racial divide going in the country, and they don't want you to focus on the black on black, because that is their system. That is their target group. That is the people that are pushing this narrative, this degeneracy through the music, through the entertainment, like Ice Cube is coming out saying now, and it's creating all this havoc. So once you start pointing fingers like, okay, why is everybody killing each other? Let's start trying to resolve this. You're going to start looking to the surroundings, what's around them, what's being pushed onto them. You're going to start looking at the music. Now, when you start looking at the music, you're going to start looking at the record label owners. Then when you start looking at them, you're going to start looking at who they're in cahoots with, which is the private prison owners, like Ice Cube has been doing. And now you're going to find out that it's one big game. So it's all to keep you distracted from their plan and their agenda. Okay, this is true supremacy in the country. We ain't even about to put the white on it because white means sovereign and free. That's a good thing. Okay, salute to the Moors that taught me everything I need to know about all that. Y'all check out my documentary on that. But yeah, man, again, big salute to Ice Cube. I hope this video, you know, set a lot of narratives straight. And people who ain't gonna, you know, watch this and still gonna think what they want to think or whatever. You can't do nothing with like haters. But I'm saying if, because they gonna think what they want anyway. But if people who actually was concerned and had, you know, ideas about what's going on, but still are objective enough to, you know, when they get the facts straight, they at least keep it real about it. You know, this is for a lot of y'all and even the fans of Ice Cube that may have had some doubts or whatever like that. Hope this video did good, and definitely salute to y'all. Everybody that's new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Everybody leave a like on all my videos, please. It helps me get in the algorithm. And also what helps me get in the algorithm is when you let me know what you think up in the comments. I ain't woke, I'm up.
Crucial 13, you all appreciated. Shout out to you.
Get crucial.
I'm hungry. I need some bacon.
Look at this. Look at this. This is the city I'm in right now.